Okay, welcome back to another episode of the 241 podcast right here. And it's behind me. Look, I am, of course, Jamin,
And I'm Jordani
and he's
Vasquez.
Jordani Vasquez, might I
Full
add.
name. Mhm.
It's a full government name.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a middle name. So
I'm
he's
one
just,
of I'm one of five Hispanics to not have a middle name.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But,
You gotta
wait, does
ask
your
my
brother
dad.
have a middle name?
Nah, he doesn't.
I guess just a family thing. All right. Well, regardless, we are back after like 3 months. Nah, I think it's been like I think we last uploaded maybe like March or no, not
Yeah,
March. Was it like early March or something? It hasn't
early
been that long.
March.
It feels a
Yeah,
lot longer.
it does.
I know I said I would be, more regular with it, but life. So speaking of
Life.
life, Dradani, what's been new with you, if anything at all?
Not much, man. I got the P5, right here.
Yes, you did.
Yes. Been binging Spider-Man, enjoying my time. That's it, man. But other than that, it's the same old.
I
That's it,
actually
baby.
wish this was a gaming, podcast because I would love to talk about your entire switch from so for anyone who doesn't know, which should be all of you, because that would be a weird thing to know. He switched from Xbox to PS5 like for the first time, and he is now, committed to that PlayStation life. Did you get the Portal yet?
No, or maybe this week.
Okay.
Maybe tomorrow, actually. I gotta hit up my guy.
Okay,
So
cool.
maybe tomorrow, yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, I went through some stuff lately. I nothing crazy. I hold on. Let me I got my wisdom teeth removed. I'm not like dying or anything. I got my
This
wisdom
isn't
teeth
this isn't
removed.
a Magic Johnson
This
age
is
announcement.
yeah, we're gonna have to retire the podcast because no. Um so yeah, I got my wisdom teeth removed and it's been a slow climb, coming back. The first like the first 2 days were pretty bad. There was a lot of blood. And I'm not even squeamish like that, but it was actually starting to trip me out. Now I'm better. I can actually talk now. We probably would have done this a while ago had I not had the whole thing with the wisdom teeth, but I'm pretty much recovered now. Now there's like the weird stuff like um there's like bone now that's there. It's like sticking out now.
Oh,
And they said, but that's normal, it'll go away. And if it doesn't, then they can, remove it. I hope it just goes away. So I have bone sticking out here, and it still kind of affects my speech a little bit. So I apologize if I slur my words a little bit at times. I'm not apologizing to you. I don't care about you. I'm apologizing to, you
what a way
know,
to treat your
yeah.
what a way to treat your podcast mate.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't even like you, honestly. No, so yeah, we're getting into this episode real quick. Before we get into this episode regarding our history with fantasy basketball, I wanted to start this one off by asking you a quick little, not a trivia question, but just like a, one of those like over under, I guess it's kind of a, trivia. Um, Chris Paul has been in the league for, I believe, 21 years now. Um, and but he's a 6'1" point guard. He's my height. So with that, being the case, I wanted to ask you a little trivia question. Um, do you think, or would you take the over or the under on Chris Paul having 150 blocks
There
uh
you go.
in his entire career? Would you take the over or under of him having 150?
Fix the lighting so y'all can see me a little better.
Yeah.
Anyway, over or under 150 blocks. I'm actually gonna take the under on that.
Okay. Um, he has more than 150. I'm trying to pull up
Yeah,
the exact number.
Cause you see, I know. Funny enough, Chris Paul actually doesn't really get blocks like that, from
He
my
doesn't,
understanding.
yeah, because he's, I mean, he's a point
Like
guard, doesn't really need to,
more,
but
more than like the usual, like less than the usual. Like I think that there have been some seasons where he's averaged like point 0.1 blocks, maybe
yeah.
gone like 2 blocks the whole year. But then again, over
Um,
20 years.
I actually heard this on another podcast. They said he has about 220. Um,
No, for over 20 years, that's not that. I'm not that off,
then
really,
I'm
for
seeing
taking
this
guys.
other thing that says he has like 723, which there's no way. I think
720.
I'm pretty sure
They smoking.
they're because it's that thing that Google does with the AI, like the summary
Oh
thing.
yeah, no, I don't listen to that.
So I'm pretty sure they're confusing that he probably ranks 723
50, yeah,
all time in terms of block. That makes a lot more sense. I'm pretty sure on this podcast I listened to the other day. Actually, I think it was today or last night. They said it was around like 220.
makes sense.
So that's
That's like
interesting.
a over a 22-year career. It's like 10 a year. Yeah, that's
Hey,
not really
hey,
nothing.
hey,
Yeah,
hey, man, I mean, shout out Chris Paul. He hasn't missed a game this year.
he did some solid work for me in fantasy basketball this
He
year,
did.
which leads us
Which
into
leaves,
the
okay, you know
topic.
what? I'm not even mad at that. Fantasy. So yeah, for I don't even think I need to explain what fantasy basketball is to any of you. Yeah, it would be
Anyone
kind of a
who's
waste of
actively
time.
watching,
So yeah, we have an interesting history with fantasy. Me and you, um, both separately and together.
yeah,
So to kind of break it down for the viewers at home, I have my own fantasy league for basketball. I'm the owner of it. I handle all of the settings, and I handle all the invites.
he's the founder. He's the James Naismith.
Yeah, exactly, of well, not of fantasy
No,
basketball, but of
yeah,
this
but
league.
of
I'm the
this
Adam
league,
Silver. I'm the
David
commissioner.
Stern.
I'm the Davis Stern. Well, he's dead. I'm the Adam Silver. So I've had this league for
5 years, right?
5 or 6 years. I think so. So yeah, it's been an interesting experience. I actually had a league before this one that we had to cancel because of the pandemic,
Oh,
but you weren't there
uh,
yet.
no, I wasn't. I didn't even know
So
you.
yeah, we didn't even know each other then. So because we met during the pandemic. So yeah, but we're not gonna talk about that one. But I've been doing fantasy basketball for a long time, and so the first year that we had our league, I actually still don't think. I think we met like during it. Hold on, let me get the dates right. Because we met in March 20. No, I think like April or May 2020.
Yeah, it was around this time. Funny enough, 5 years ago.
And then the bubble started like in the summer, I think.
This bubble did start in the summer. Yeah,
But I don't think we did any fantasy for the bubble around then. For whatever reason, you weren't in that first year, even though I did know you then. I think we just already, you know what it is? I think that was when we had like mad people. Oh, you weren't into basketball as much then.
I wasn't. Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, I was out of basketball then. It was fantasy that got me back into being more hardcore into basketball. Funny enough, but during then I was off it. I didn't even watch basketball until the Lakers made it to the finals. Then I was like, oh yeah, it's time for me to pay attention. My team is back in the finals.
Yeah, no, I'm looking. So, and like you can check it too if you want. In the league history, it should be there for you.
Let's see.
And oh, I forgot. It's cool. I mean, you're
Yeah,
on your app. I
I'm
forgot.
on my
Like,
phone today,
yeah,
guy.
yeah, he is on his phone. It's an emergency pod. It's an
Yeah,
inside joke. So you don't have to. I have it up on mine. I can show you everything. Um, so yeah, this was definitely 2020 and 2021 because my team name was Team the Baby, and I had to be. I think
I
you
think
remember
you
my
still had that when I started.
you
You didn't
remember you
change
remember
it by the time of the draft, and
my
it
the
and your the
baby.
baby obsession.
With the
Oh yeah,
that's funny. I actually went to a Hornets game not too long ago, and he was there. It was these kids that like ran into him at the bathroom or something. He was like, "Mom, I met the baby in the bathroom."
Well, who?
Um, that's probably what I don't think they knew, who the baby was. But the first year, I went 12-4. I believe it was like a shortened year because that was the year where the season started on Christmas. That was
Yeah,
after the pandemic. So that was 2021. That was when who won 2021? The Bucks?
yeah.
The Bucks won because I was still in PA then. So so I finished in third place that year. It was actually Simon, our friend
Simon won it.
Simon.
Yeah, Simon won
So
it
he
right
won
here.
the first ever ring. If you had to guess, I know you weren't in the league then, but who do you think was number two that year? If you just had to guess.
Let's see. I would say Tristan.
Tristan's a good guess. Unfortunately, Tristan's never really had like real success in fantasy. The number two seed was actually Connor. Connor used to
Connor?
be hooping back then.
Connor?
Connor used to be really into fantasy back then. He would always, he would always do trades. He was up to date with everything.
Connor. If you watch this, Connor, shout out to you, bro. Shout out
Sure,
to the
sure.
Metabolism Man. Go watch James' other podcasts where I sometimes guest star. Kind of like Dwight Howard on Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Exactly, yeah. Kind of like Dwight Howard on Disney Channel
In
in
general.
general. He was on Kick Batowski. He was on Sweet Life. He was in Parrot Kings. He was in Livin' Maddie, actually, which I
That's
didn't even
true.
know. He was in Mighty Med. He was every, and then he would just appear in like ads every now and then on the network. Strange, strange. Hey, but shout out Dwight. He made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Oops. I
deserved.
I used to
Unlike,
love Dwight. When I was young, he got me into basketball, but that's a whole nother thing. Here, I think actually we already spoke about that on the pod. I think that was our first episode.
yeah, yeah.
So anyway, we flash forward to the 2021-2022 season. That was my first season in North Carolina, so it was just full of heartbreak. So that year, I'm struggling to remember what happened that year. No, okay.
Rookie of the year.
So yeah, that was the
Rookie
year
of the year.
where I invited Jordani to be in the fantasy league. And Jordani, if you want to talk about your if you can kind of like put yourself okay, stop smiling. Okay. If you can put yourself into that mindset of where you were, back then, um, trying to get yourself back into basketball and then, attempting fantasy basketball for the first time, like did you have any like expectations of what it would be like or how did things kind of work out? Because I remember one thing that you did, you might remember it too,
Oh, of
but we'll
course, that was
talk.
the first thing I was gonna
Okay.
mention.
Oh yeah, you
The infamous Lonzo Darius Garland trade that I got roasted for in the Discord relentlessly for like a day.
yeah.
Everybody was coming at me in the Discord. It turned out well for me, but honestly, just off that, I was very confused. I didn't. Oh,
There goes the
gotta
lighting.
add on. Gotta add on the white screen ad.
He didn't play. He didn't pay the electric bill.
Now we can cut this. Anyway, we're back now. I had technical difficulties, but to begin, I was very confused because I didn't really know what players to look for. Look for. Obviously, you have the great players, the easy players to pick. I was actually lucky enough to get the first pick that year. I chose Jokic, of course. I knew who Jokic was, but from that point on, it's like, oh, I don't know who to draft. I don't know who to move on. Trade. I was scared to do trades. I was so scared to do trades, especially like I said, the infamous Lonzo Darius Garland trade that I made. I was especially scared after that because when everybody said I got robbed, I really felt like it because I didn't know what I was doing.
Who did you do
Turned
the
out,
trade with?
you know what? That's funny.
I can check the server actually if you want.
No, because it was in my, I think it was in my DMs. But yeah, everybody flamed me for it. Turned out well. The only person I do remember that was on my team the whole way through that year, I remember Jokic. I had an Anunoby OG with the Raptors. I did have Garland the whole year. Did I have SGA? No, I had SGA the year after that, which I think is the best fantasy team I've ever built. I lost that year, but that was easily last year's fantasy team for me. My team was overpowered. I don't know how I lost. Forget you, Treasure. If you ever watch this, you bum. He went 1-15 this season.
He did.
Treasure. Let me tell y'all something, man. This man, Treasure Adogu. I don't even know if he has a middle name, but that brother he beat me last year in the championship and then goes 1-15 this year. He's a fraud. Fraudulent.
Fraudulent. I'm gonna put the
Mallow.
screenshot up there too.
Yo, put it up there. Put it
Yeah.
up there.
I'm gonna leave it up for the whole
Expose
episode.
this man.
Yep.
Expose this man. Because, sheesh, bro. Can he even go 500 after beating me? All because Giannis got hurt. Wait till I
Mhm.
tell you my team. I remember my team from the dome. Everybody thought it was game over once I had my team like that. My team was ridiculous.
So I'm actually looking at your stats overall for um you won in 2022, right?
Yeah, no, 2021.
2021, 2022 season though, I think is
Yeah,
when.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's 2022.
Oh, okay.
Your
Yeah.
highest matchup uh that you scored like that whole time. Um you scored 1,568 points in one matchup and you were playing against Kai and you blew him out,
Yeah.
completely. Um
In fantasy, I low key do Kai dirty. I wreck him every time.
so here's what's interesting. To kind of add, okay, so all right, let's do some going back. The person you played against in the finals that year was none other than yours truly. And I don't know if I can find the exact stats or matchup for that time. I can look into it a little later, but I don't remember how close it was. I just remember that you won. And that was heartbreaking because I think I went almost undefeated that year. I
I
had
think you lost once in the regular season.
I think that
I
was
think.
actually the year where I went like 17-2. And I remember oh yeah, y'all are mad at me for this. You remember what I did?
What? When
I
we did our
lost
exchange?
no. I lost once and I didn't want to go the entire season only losing once, like going like 18-1 or whatever. So I purposely took out my players so I could lose another match against like Kai or something. Y'all were kind of like you were like Jamin, don't do that, and I was like, I got to. It was gonna bother my OCD, honestly, just to just have like that one
Just the
loss.
one instead of the O.
Just having, yeah.
That's funny.
I needed to have like two losses in order instead of just going one. Um, it is what it is. So then fast forward to another year. Next year, we get through playoffs. I have I have a really high seed. He has a really high seed. And so we're back. It's a rematch. Um now my memory is a little foggy for that match. Who ended up winning that one again? I
Who bounced
forgot.
you out?
No. Who won like in the finals the year after you won? I'm trying to remember. I'm a
Treasure.
little no. I'm a little foggy. The year after you won, who won after that?
Oh, you.
Me,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Yeah, that's what
won.
I was.
You beat
Yeah.
me.
I beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't actually forget. I was just trying to hear you say
Yeah,
it.
oh, I freaking remember what happened. That's when you picked up Obi Toppin.
Obi
I'll never
Toppin,
forget when you picked up Obi Toppin last day. He scored like 40 points, beat him by like 20.
it
I
was
remember that
him
to this day.
and this dude on the
I was
Blazers
so
named
annoyed.
Mays, Stefan Mays or something. Hold on. It
I don't even
was
remember that,
it,
bro. I literally just
it was
remember Obi
Skylar
Toppin.
Mays. He went stupid. He had like 60 points or something. Oh, because that was I think that was the last time where I'm just like, okay, we're gonna have to shorten the season because everyone was resting.
Everybody was hurt. Yeah, they were wrestling players. Yeah, that's what happened.
That was
Yeah.
back when they were like hurt. So yeah, that was really annoying. Really annoying. Um, but we won, but I won. And that was also the first year that I implemented the whole like gift card thing.
Yep.
So so
Nobody
it's a
got a
good
gift card.
thing. It's a good thing that I won. Now this next year, I'm I'm I don't know how much you want to talk about it considering what ended up happening, but you went to the finals again. So I'll start actually. I lost in the second or first. I guess. Well, back then there were only like two rounds, so I lost in the first round to Treasure. I think. Yeah, I lost to
Mm-hmm.
Treasure
He wanted a miracle run.
again.
That was the only way to
Here's
play
the
it.
thing.
It was a miracle
I
run.
always drafted amazing teams. Not all right. Hold on, I'm glazing. I'm glazing for a little bit, but I always drafted
No,
really
that's
good
true.
teams.
I always thought that your drafting is excellent, in my opinion.
My team. So that year that Treasure won, I actually went like I went 15-1.
Yeah, I was terrified that year. Your team was stupid until the trade deadline, and then I did. I
Uh,
pulled it. However, I'll
I
get into it.
won
I'll get into it.
I won I won 13 games in a row,
That's crazy.
which is crazy. Um so yeah, that was pretty sick. That was pretty sick. Dude, I'm looking at the stats right now. You destroyed Simon that year. Look at the
How much?
wait, like can you see it or is it flip?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
destroyed him.
That
You
was
were up by
1,000.
almost 1,000 points.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Cooked him.
Oh my god,
God,
man, that
dog.
is crazy, bro. People, I had what I have on my team. I had a big three on my squad that was nasty. I had Curry, Giannis, and Sengun on my team.
That's a good. Yeah, it's a good big three.
That was wild. I didn't even think Sengun was the third best player I had. I think there was someone else I had that was better than Sengun, but I'm trying to remember. I think it was Devin Booker.
Mm.
I think I don't know, but my team was disgusting that year. Treasure threw me such a bad trade. I accepted it. I got Curry, Sengun, and one other person for like I think like Tatum and like oh my god, I don't remember that trade, bro. I don't remember that trade.
Yeah.
I think I sent it to you in our snap. He beat me anyway, all because Giannis got hurt. And he knows it. He knows it. I was almost back to back. He knows it. It's all right though.
It's all good. Hey, it worked out for me because
It did.
I couldn't stomach you seeing
It did.
another
Back to
ring.
back
Yeah,
championship.
man. So now we get to this year, right? No, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about when Simon won, when you won, when I won, right?
When Treasure won.
When Treasure won,
And now this year, Mr. Brother Roku.
Brother Roku, Brother
Brother
Roku.
Roku.
Who really cares about? No, so yeah, so that's the
Full
kind of
fat
the
chop.
funny thing. It's something that I wanted to, you got a Mickey Mouse. Um, something I wanted to discuss to you with this one, and we'll get into it a little later. So like neither of us went back, to the finals, this year,
This is
which
actually my
means,
first year.
huh?
This is
Yeah,
my first year now in the finals.
that's crazy. Now that
I
I
didn't
think
even
about
realize
it.
that. I didn't even realize that.
So yeah, it was interesting because you went undefeated.
I did. I achieved it.
I didn't finish. I was 14-2, which is still really good. Um, one of those wins I could have won, but I mean one of those losses I could have won, but it's whatever. Um, so yeah, it was a weird season because I like my team was really good. Yours was also really good, but we got especially my team got
You
cooked.
was bad with injuries. Your team was bad with
I was
injuries.
down RJ Barrett. I was down like Jalen Williams. I was the Steph Curry. I was down.
It's a bonus.
Yes, he was my first pick. Like I got cooked with injuries. So and then Fox. I had to wait Fox because he got hurt
Oh yeah, he got hurt too.
and he had to get the surgery.
Man, your team was
And
stupid, bro. Your
my
team was
my
stupid.
team was so good, and then the injuries just completely. Um. But yeah, so what ended up happening with your team like this year?
Everybody stayed healthy, but it was inconsistency. Devin Booker, I'm not drafting him again.
Yeah.
He was actually so inconsistent, and I realized my mistake because the Suns' offense is literally just like, yo, here, this guy take the ball, put him in the ISO, and see if he can make the shot. So it literally leads to some games where Devin Booker plays like Devin Booker always plays, and then other games where he's just honestly pathetic. I
Yeah.
can't lie. So that was my mistake. But I really drafted a full healthy team, but it was just one superstar playing consistent, and then Kyrie went down for the rest of the year. Honestly, if I had Kyrie alone, I probably would have beat. I think it was Evan who I faced. Yeah, I faced Evan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or did you face? Did you face Isaac? Did you face Isaac?
No, you had Isaac.
I had Isaac. I feel like if I had Kyrie alone, I would have beat Isaac. But then again, I was scared of Isaac's team because honestly, I don't know what happened to make him 8-8, but his team was way better than 8-8.
He might have had injuries, but yeah.
He did have injuries, but like bro had Jalen Brunson. He had and he had Jalen Brunson. He had Herb Jones who played like Michael Jordan after he came back. Like literally, I was sick of Herb Jones. Quentin Grimes. Quentin Stinking Grimes is the reason I lost because Michael Jordan, that brother played like finals Michael Jordan for a whole month, and that plagued me. But I am salty. This is the year, man. When I saw I went undefeated, I genuinely felt like I was gonna win the whole thing because I was just like, my biggest obstacle has always been you. You've always been my biggest obstacle. So when I beat you in the regular season, I was like, I can do this for real. This is really it. And my team was stacked, bro. I had Kyrie, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum,
Cat.
Evan Mobley, and Cat as my starting five. That is, they all averaged 40 and up, dog. Just in my starting lineup, 40 and up, all of them. Tatum was almost 50, and Cat was almost 50 at one point, too. It was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then Vassell, I picked up Vassell from the waivers. I got CP3 with like my 110th pick. Um, who else is on there, Jalen? I didn't drop anybody who was actually from my starting lineup. Who else was on there?
I'm trying to look at yours. I found mine. I don't know if I can actually look through yours.
Yeah,
But you had like mad players though. You had
I
really
did.
good players. Oh wait, I could definitely look through yours. Hold on.
Yeah. And then I know the one thing I'm good at is picking up players and then they perform for like two games or something.
Yeah,
Like that. When I faced Javid, I picked up that Champagne, whatever his last name is.
Champagne. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Champagne.
Champagne for the twin who's on the Wizards. And my man dropped like 75 fantasy points when we played. I'm like, I seen it. I seen the
Now
performance.
you said you had to drop Kyrie. So with that in mind, you had Chris Paul, you had Devin Booker, you had Cat, you had Mobley, you had Naz Reid, you had
That's for my
Tatum.
trade.
Now I don't know exactly. Oh wait, no, I can look through the days actually. Hold on. So let's say like at the beginning. No, because the regular season. Let's go like a random day in February. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scoot.
because that was after the trade deadline. Yeah.
You, you had Drew Holiday for a little bit.
Yeah, let me get started on Drew Holiday. Such a disappointment. Drew Holiday was the biggest disappointment of the whole season.
Yeah,
He was projected to do like 34. I think he finished season averaging 27. But realistically, that's because he put up a few really solid games through the end of the stretch. Most of the time, he was averaging 25 points, which is literally like waiver pickup averages. I was very frustrated with that.
you should be honestly. I had a nice team. You know, I had a lot of
Yeah, team
injuries.
was nasty.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be. I'm gonna say this like humbly. Like, if my team just like if injuries never existed, I still think I had just like from top to bottom the best team, especially with the whole Randall thing. Because Sage dropped
that's fair.
Randall, and
That was
like I swooped.
inexplicable.
I don't know why. So
I should
actually,
have picked him up. I saw it. I should have picked him up immediately.
like the funny thing about that is I texted Sage. I'm just like, why did you drop Randall? And he never responded. And then I looked and I'm just like, oh, this is the wrong number. Like I've had this wrong. I think at some point, like he changed numbers. Cause I'm
I
just
think, yeah, he got a new phone, I think.
yeah, and I'm just like, oh shoot, this is the wrong thing. I should have just like texted him on Instagram or Snap or something. But Um, yeah, that's crazy. So there was one thing I meant to, ask, like ask you. So my question is, in the finals, me and you are 1-1. We're tied. However, how do you want to view this other match we had in the third, or like in the in the third place a matchup? Because there are a couple variables. We At the end of the day, we still lost. Neither of us were in the finals. So like it would be a weird thing to like in terms of head to head, playoff matchups. I guess overall it would still count. But at the end of the day, like none of us, won it all. None of us were in the finals anyway. So it would also be like, yeah, who cares? But there's also the thing I wanted to bring up because I lost by I think maybe like 43 points or something like that.
Yeah,
I think I
it
lost
was
by about
close.
like 40 points.
It was very
However,
close.
if I had put in Curry 1 minute earlier from IR, I would have won.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
saw that. I was like, oh,
so that's the part
I
that
was
made me
like, oh my God.
so mad because I would have won.
That's
So
true.
I'm just gonna be open about this. Are we gonna officially count this towards our head to head like matchups in the playoffs,
Nah,
or do you want to say that we're 1-1-1, or we're just
I'll
one
say,
and one?
I'll say just 1-1. I don't know. This matchup was weird, bro. It was really weird. Your team was handicapped too, and I had some handicaps, I guess, technically too. Um, so yeah, I'll say 1-1. But injuries, man. To me, it's like injuries are like you can sort of plan for them because, like, realistically, and when after the draft day, I knew my team was going to be healthy. The only question mark I had was Kyrie, and once again, I literally, I remember during draft day, I was like, if there's one guy I'm gonna trade that's I know is gonna put up a lot of points, and there's a superstar on my team I'm trading, it's gonna be Kyrie. I said that like right at my head in draft day, like, yo, if I'm gonna move somebody, it's gonna be Kyrie because Devin Booker is healthy, Tatum is healthy, Evan Mobley is healthy. Did have that what meniscus tear last year, but that was to me sort of like an anomaly. Cat before that, he's been really healthy. He had that one injury, okay, but someone like Kyrie, we know Kyrie's injury history. So there are some people that say, oh, like injury prone players, they aren't really injury prone. They might get unlucky. They may, just run into bad circumstance. But I truly believe habitually injured players, it's habitual. Just look at Joel Embiid, look at Zion, look at Kawhi. Look, like seriously, and even like
Simmons.
somebody like Curry. Curry had a lot of years where he was healthy, and then look at him now coming back to the ankle injuries that plagued him when he got into the league. So it's literally like these things. Because I've been in physical therapy before, and literally they told me like it doesn't heal the same way. Like they literally told me because I hyperextended my knee, they told me that that muscle or like that tendon is gonna be a little more stretched out than before I hurt it. So it's like it might be more susceptible to injury. And these dudes, they push their body to the limits every day. So it's literally like to me, the injury prone players are injury prone. So I knew my team was gonna be healthy from the start. Even somebody like Chris Paul, even though he's old, doesn't have injury history. So I was like, I knew my team would be healthy. So you can draft against injuries, but at the end of the day, they're still unpredictable.
You never know, and that's the thing with fantasy. You can't take it to like if your season ends in disappointment, you can't take it too I don't know like too seriously because you did your job. I always did my job. You always
Yeah,
did your job. We always drafted good teams and we always made appropriate trades. Me and you even had a trade that eventually you ended up winning. But, you know, I needed the positions at the time
yeah,
more than I needed the points. So that was just kind of but that's the whole thing. So yeah, I would say in terms of, you know, how we are in the playoffs, I think it's fair to say that we're 1-1. I'm still a little mad that you have a finals appearance over me, but
Yeah.
it's cool because next year I'm gonna be coming in hot, and I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna try to run it back as as much as I
Oh
can.
yeah.
I mean, Cooper Flag's coming, so let's
Yeah. I'm
see.
already. I'm already thinking about players from this year to invest into next year. I'm not gonna say their names,
Oh
but
yeah,
I'm thinking.
and I will
I'm in the think.
say
I'm in the thought chamber.
there's a new method I've been using. I'm not even gonna tell you a new method I've been using that I think will help me win games, or like it'll help me win matchups, or like weekly matchups, and I think it might work. I think it might work. I ain't gonna tell you because you're too good. If your team was trash, if your team was like treasure, that I gotta be fine. But
1-15 treasure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So with all that being said, thank you guys for watching slash listening. If you enjoyed, hit us up or subscribe and follow on YouTube, on Spotify. Well, yeah, those are the only two things. And we hope to see you guys, soon. Have a good one.
Don't be a faker. Undertaker. Lakers in 5.
Okay.